obviously we had a fair bit to play for. It's getting pretty tight at the top, and there was a fair bit on the line, and it was disappointing. Probably the way we played as well. To get beaten in a contested ball like that was really disappointing, and we've got a lot to work on, but a lot to look forward to as well. We've got a lot to improve, and look forward to the challenge. I think the slump and the running out of legs is a bit of an excuse, and we certainly don't want that at all. We're just not playing the footy that we want to. Obviously, it hasn't been the greatest last 3 weeks, and we certainly have let games slip, and there's been times in games where it's been disappointing, but the wheels are certainly not falling off at all.
So they're wobbly. They're not
that's
falling
for them
off.
to set right, isn't it? They've lost to Sydney, which was perfectly acceptable, beat the Bulldogs, lost to Adelaide, Essendon and Richmond. This is 3 in a row.
Good Ed, that's a great looking page, because that guy at the front was awesome yesterday. If he could, he's a rare player, Travis Boak, rare player. But
what is this? What are we seeing?
What are we seeing, in my opinion? What do we see with any teams? You go along in the season, and if everything's going smoothly, it covers the cracks. That's what it does. And what happens when things starting to go wrong? For example, Jay Schultz can't mark it and kick a goal. Right, we've got a second tall who'll stand up. Where is he? Who is he? They haven't got one. So suddenly that's a bit of an issue. Lobie, playing pretty good footy. He's not playing great. We get a second ruckman in there. Oh, hang on, who's that? So they're just two. But what I've noticed, they're just positional things, right? They're just positional things. What I've noticed is this team used to be, they were ferocious, Jared, and you've called them, they were ferocious. They were beaten up and they were out, their work rate was not sufficient to beat Richmond. Richmond were better. Richmond have had a work rate this year as poor as any team, and they were done over by Richmond in the contested ball, and that shows to me it's really simple. They weren't ready. They weren't ready to do what they had to do to win. And I know that's simple words again, but it's amazing, Jared. If the ball's in the middle and Vossi says, throw the ball in the middle and two guys go at it, who wins? If that guy wins most of the times, they've got a better chance of winning the games. So when it finally goes forward, Chad Wingard's in a hole.
Yep. So they have players in form slumps. Yes,
they have, and they've got a sizable group. Brad Ebert probably played his worst game of football on the weekend. I think Brad Ebert was pushing for All-Australian. Chad Wingard. Robbie Gray kicked 4. Not bad, great effort. You'd take 4, and Pittard didn't touch it on a half-back flank. I mean, Westhoff, in and out.
So these are the players with the champion data rankings on each game and how they were between round 1 and 13 and how they've been in the trough. And they're Gray, Ebert, Pollock, Wingard, Hartlett, Broadbent. They're all the reasons that things are going, and that's the drop-off. I watched them thinking they're only playing half the game. They've got the razzle-dazzle, spread and run, but it was all based in hunt the ball, win the ball, then spread. They were really keen to spread and run yesterday. Yeah, they were far less keen to go on hunt and win the ball as a starting point.
If you were coaching against Port Adelaide, and bear in mind what's happened to them in the last couple of weeks, what would you say to your players? You get them and you hit them as hard as you possibly can, because if we don't, they're going to run. Tackle them into the ground to stop their runners. I know it's simple, but that's what you do. You stop their creative players from being creative. And by the way, can we also beat them in contested ball? Because if we do that, that sort of cuts them in half twice. It gives them a couple of lashes. And that's what happened. Ken Hinkley said, again, we were beaten at the coalface.
So it's on intent for Port.
At the moment, it seems.
That's right.
To me, it does.
It's time to...
Which means that you get it first and you're moving in quickly, and Schultz is going one-on-one, he's not going one-on-two, and people aren't dropping back. And there's not a lot of traffic, so Wingard and Gray can operate their little creativity in bigger space than bringing the ball in slowly, filling holes.
They'll get that back, but what it won't be is easy. I reckon they rolled out yesterday thinking high-scoring win will be right here. That just
not a good attitude.
Done. No.
It's not a good
one other element which was unmissable was Troy Chaplin and his celebrations when he kicked goals for the Tigers in the final term. Unmissable to the spectators, unmissable to the protagonists out there, given his history with the power, and it raised a bit of ire on the ground.
Oh, who cares? It was great. Who gives a stuff? Have a look at his attitude to Port Adelaide's attitude. This is one of the reasons why Richmond won. where people are getting in people's faces and saying, have a look at me. Richmond have been cowering all year. That was fantastic to see.
Travis Boak was asked about it today.
I mean, they're winning, so I guess he can do what he wants, but yeah, I hope he's enjoying the year they're having.
That's great too. You know, they don't have to be friends.
Off the field is fine, I reckon.
Fantastic.
Okay.
That was good.